How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Guardians of Gamers. And today, basically recently, based on the recent news that we had, it looks like 343 Industries has unfortunately made an announcement that not only that Forge Urge for Halo Infinite is going to be delayed till spring of next year, but also like the major feature known as split screen, which was supposed to be for a co-op campaign. It looks like it has now been officially canceled, despite how many times they're going to say, oh look, split screen's going to be coming to Halo Infinite, guys, no worries. Oh, and then, well, I'm sure they mentioned that way back in 2017 that it's going to be available on every single Halo game on day one, but I guess I'll probably get to that part later after I, break down this article and, break down this recent news. Based on the title of this video, I gotta say, it's not going to be one of my typical positive and uplifting news covering type of videos, but not only that, but it will be in a news video, but at the same time it will be a rant afterwards after I finish covering this news. And without any further ado, so as always, and so without any delay, let's go ahead and dive right into this, shall we? So it starts off saying that Halo Infinite Forge mode gets November release date, but split screen co-op has been canceled. IGN, I think that title might be a little bit misleading, because I believe from what we all heard that Forge is going to be delayed till sometime in spring of next year, when it's supposed to be coming out in November officially. But hey, so the final release of online co-op is now coming in November 2. And then Halo Infinite is finally getting a Forge mode launching on November 8th, 2022, and the full release online campaign co-op will now arrive on the same day. And sadly though, split screen co-op have been canceled entirely. In a new update, developer 343 announced details of Winter's update coming on November 8th, which comes with some long-awaited modes. Forge mode will allow Halo Infinite fans to essentially create their own content, building new maps with sophisticated editor and sharing them among the community. And arriving as a beta, we are still not totally sure on included features, although looked impressive and all that jazz. So yeah, I gotta agree, based on all the leaked videos that we saw for Forge, it does look pretty impressive and very promising at the same time. And I think that's one of the things that will definitely get me back to playing Halo Infinite, because as someone who actually really enjoyed the game with the campaign, the multiplayer has really been lacking a lot, in my opinion. But so 343 Industries is also launching 2 new multiplayer maps on November 8th, which will showcase exactly what Forge can do, as they were made entirely in Forge mode. So we can look at this little roadmap app here, and just gotta wait for it to load up, and I'll just break that down, and then we'll proceed with the article. So yeah, basically, technically, yeah, I was right. It looks like, Forge is definitely going to be coming out this November, but technically it's going to be more like a beta version that we're seeing right here from November 8th to March 7th. So we got the beta version of the Forge mode, and then we got Campaign Network Co-op and Mission Replay, and then 30-tier Battle Pass, and also Detachment and Argyle, which are also going to be I believe this will be the 2 new maps are actually going to demonstrate the capabilities of what you can do with Forge, which I'm actually at the same time I'm pretty excited about it, and I might actually try them out every once in a while. And then fast forward to the 3rd season with we call Echoes Within. We're also going to have Arena and Big Team Battle maps coming in, and then also got the new rifle that's called the Bandit, which is obviously from my take of it, looks like the Halo Reach DMR, but without the scope, which is well, what's the point? The scope was part of the trademark of the DMR back in the day with Halo Reach 4 and 5, and then also we got the shroud screen, which I don't know what that is, but it looks kind of looks like the equivalent to the bubble shield in Halo 3, or basically the successor to the bubble shield from Halo 3, and also maybe the drop shield from Halo Reach. And then we also got the Battle Pass and all that other jazz. Got the XP, Match XP, One Flag, and all those other features that'll be coming in both later this winter, and also sometime around spring and summer of next year. And so yeah. So the winter update also sees a full version of online campaign co-op finally roll out on all players, allowing you to team up with your buddies and tackle Halo Infinite's campaign together and expect to find new achievements, cross-platform support, mission replay, and shared progression. And after several delays in the beta, it's been a long time coming. And however, there is bad news for fans for couch co-op. Here we go. The local split-screen co-op mode has now been canceled, and it is a blow to those who have been waiting since launch for the old school feature, but it's seemingly a matter of priorities. Well, technically, I believe we said, like I said before, a mere years ago, it was promised to us by Bonnie Ross that it will be, coming to every single new Halo game day one, but I guess we'll get into that later. So, here's what 343 Industries had to say. In order to improve and accelerate the ongoing live service development and to better address player feedback and quality of life updates, we have reallocated studio resources and are no longer working on local campaign split-screen co-op. So, alongside with these new additions, the winter update will include the Match XP beta, allowing players to level up alongside with 30-level Battle Pass. There's also a new game mode, Convert One Flag, which features asymmetrical loadouts and round-based gameplay, just to mix it up a bit. And there's certainly a lot of new content on its way, and Forge could be the answer to Halo Infinite's content in drought. So for now, we will have to wait and see, but let's hope for the community to get really creative with this. And so yeah, that's kind of like, my breakdown for the news that's been covered recently. But so yeah, now it's time for a little bit of a rant time, shall we? So about that split screen feature that's been promised to us since way back in 2017. Oh yeah, he said that it was supposed to be available during the first day of during the launch of every Halo game will include split screen, which I believe was said way back in 2017 and was confirmed by Bonnie Ross. Well, let's go ahead and dive right into the history. Thanks to our friend Chief Canuck right here on Twitter. And here's a little breakdown of what Bonnie Ross had to say. So let me just go ahead and play it right now.
We've also had a lot of learnings along the way. When we fell down with the multiplayer launch of MCC, or when we didn't put split screen in with Halo 5, I think it's incredibly painful for the community and for us. I think it erodes trust with the community, as the community is part of our world building. A lot of learnings from that, and I would say for any FPS going out forward, we will always have split screen in going forward, but painful learnings. We've also had a lot of learning.
Well, here it is. And I gotta say, and I have to agree with what Chief Canuck has to say, saying like, oh, this aged like milk. Well, I personally have not played local split screen in over 10 years, well, including myself, because, right now, I had other responsibilities while I was busy with college, and now I'm at the point in my life where I'm in the position where I'm trying to make a living. I'm here making a living and paying bills and all that jazz. I basically personally do not have time for any of this stuff, including the fact that I also got other things that I want to try to achieve in my life, other goals I gotta work on as well. So yeah, in over 10 years, like my own screen, the latest news that Halo Infinite's local split screen has been canceled for the time being to focus on resources elsewhere. There sucks to couch co-op players, emoji face. So yeah, and even personally, yeah, I don't really do as much split screen in gaming as much as I used to back when I was back in middle school and high school. This actually can be very disappointing because this is a very crucial feature that at first got me way back into the Halo series back in 2007, starting with Halo 2 with a friend of mine. Whenever he brought his Xbox over, it was the day after the 4th of July, and he came over to crash my house for a day, and then he brought his Xbox over along with his copy of Halo 2, and they were playing some split screen co-op around that time, and I was actually kind of blown away at first, and especially playing through Power Station and have no idea what I'm doing at first, but then as soon as I got into the third mission of New Mombasa, where you're rolling through the bridge is with the Scorpion tank, that was when I was officially got hooked into the series around that time. And it's and not only that, but I remember having so many awesome memories, just playing the multiplayer era rockets and swords. I think played all swords and rockets on one of the Halo 2 maps as back in the day, and then played a mission for the first time on split screen, which was basically a 4-player split screen. that was actually that was a blast until then transitioning over to Halo 3. We used to do the same thing, just have fun playing the multiplayer aspect in on Sand Trap a lot, on Valhalla, split screen, and also messing around with Forge, spending all morning messing around with Forge before we had to head back home, back in the days, and so what else gotta say? So yeah, and just I gotta say that person for me Halo's known for having really good campaign experiences and had a really good story that I usually like to get into, which is one of the reasons why I still support this franchise to this day, man, is because it was the way they do the continuity with the series in terms of story. That's what keeps drawing me in. But also judging back, one of the recent videos made by the Act Man, which I believe some of y'all probably saw at some point, saying giving his own criticisms towards 343 Industries, saying a split screen and all that jazz. Hey, that's one of the reasons why most of us got into Halo, is because we first got introduced to it to a friend back in the day, and just had fun playing split screen in multiplayer and having those LAN parties, and it was an awesome time, and I have to agree with that as well. So yeah, and as of right now, a little tournament that I'm also doing, looks like we're gonna be having a Halo MCC tournament, which is kind of local in my area. So sorry about that, but basically we're gonna be playing MCC mainly because it actually has split screen on there, which makes it easily accessible for all players, so that way you can have fun and have a good time and all that good jazz. And so what else am I gonna say? So yeah, I gotta say, this is kind of I know for those who've been following my content and recently, and saw me just covering news on Halo Infinite and being all positive, and I was one of those guys who've been constantly defending 343 Industries, because I know it's just due to how much of an impact the Halo series has had on me, and just being a defender of Halo 4 and 5, even though despite the fact that Halo 5 did not have split screen because they wanted to get the game fully optimized or run at 60 frames per second, and they saw that split screen is going to lower the frame rate, and I remember a lot of backlash happened around that time, and then also I was seeing delay of content that should have been in the game at launch, so where just back in the days when Halo 5 was new, we only had to wait for about a couple months for the Forge mode to actually get released, at least around that time. But now for Halo Infinite, there's so many features that's been missing out now right now that should have been in the game at launch, and now most of the features that they're working on, and now we gotta wait for about a year and a half for them to actually fully come out officially, such as and right now we're not gonna have split screen anymore, but we will definitely officially have the Forge mode. It will be usable, and at some point, which is the time gap between Halo Infinite and Wait for Forge is actually a heck of a lot longer than in the time frame we had to wait for Halo 5 back in the day, and now split screen. And seeing this video right here with Bond Ross saying, "Oh look, we're gonna have a split screen available day one for every single Halo game," but now, which was way back in the ancient year of 2017. Then fast forward right now, we don't have any split screen co-op, and officially it has now been canceled due to the fact that they actually want to focus on other things. And so yeah, I gotta say, just as much as I like to support 343 Industries, and even though I do in fact have some personal friends who work there that I actually got to talk with twice in person back in 2017 during the Rooster Teeth Expo, and also during one of the MLG tournaments that were held in New Orleans back in summer 2018. And guess what? I'm still going to support them, and I know there are some people there in 343 Industries who are still are about as frustrated with the overall results as we are. So all I can say is that even though that I do like to defend 343 Industries, try to hopefully they can actually improve and learn from their mistakes, which I saw that they actually did with every single Halo game if they made so far. But right now they made some really big errors, just making a lot of excuses and a lot of jazz but however, especially I want to defend them, that doesn't mean they're free from my criticism. So if they jack up things, I'm gonna have to call them out on it. And so because criticism, again, constructive criticism is actually a really good way to actually make them a better product, instead of just go off and just trashing them and saying that they're, or and sending all those those uncivilized messages towards them that this has been happening back in the day. And but all I can say is like, so yeah, this is like, you know, very inexcusable in a lot of the eyes of the Halo fan base. But also, I hope to God, I pray to God that they actually will find a way to fix this as soon as possible, because you know they got a lot of catching up to do. And so that's going to be from our rant, and I hope you found this video to be informative and actually you were able to deal with, like, you know, any of my thoughts and opinions on this. But if you did, then be sure to drop a like as always, because it does help the channel out a lot, and subscribe for more content like this. Hit the bell to be notified when my next video is going to drop. And got your own thoughts and opinions based on this recent news with split screen. Be sure to sign in the comment section below and get a discussion going, which I can definitely predict that it's not going to be very pleasant, but even if it's going to be negative, at least try to be civilized and constructive about it. And don't, like, you know, be so hostile and all that jazz that we see, like, on Twitter, because personally for me, this is actually one of the reasons why, like, all this negativity and drama that's been going on, that's one of the reasons why I've actually kind of branched out into doing more than just like covering news related to Halo, and saw me like covering other news, like, you know, based on other games that are coming out, so that way I can branch out and actually improve my personal mental health. Because I don't know. Well, that's it right now, and thank you so much for, like, you know, checking out this video and actually listening to me making my little rant here. And again, we'll catch you all in the next one.